Well, the tree is up and I'm wearing the red flannel shirt, so I guess it must be getting pretty close to Christmas. You know, that time of year when we celebrate the Prince of Peace. You know, the last few years have been full of news of the pandemic and then economic downturn. And, you know, this year, the ongoing war in Ukraine and now the war in the Middle East. It seems like peace is more elusive than ever in this world. And we might be even tempted to ask, where is this Prince of Peace? Unfortunately, the scripture tells us that things might get a little worse before they even get better. So how do we function in a chaotic and rather dysfunctional world? I like the nostalgia and many of the Christmas traditions, as I'm sure you do. But while Jesus came as a little baby, the Jesus we celebrate is no longer that little babe in Mary's arms of so long ago. No, he is the Jesus who has the power over history, the power over nations, and as well as the power over every storm in our lives. Just like the storm on the Sea of Galilee those many years ago, Jesus is still in our boat today. And he speaks to every storm in our life. And he says, peace, be still. You know, global peace may be out of our control. And even if things get worse, he has promised to be with us. He promised to be with us through every storm, in whatever storms you may be facing in the coming year. So he's no longer, as we know, that little cute baby in Mary's arms. No, he's the Jesus in our boat is the Word that became flesh. God among us, Emmanuel, the King, the returning King of Kings. That's the Jesus we celebrate this Christmas season. On the ministry front, this year has been a real special one for us, as I was able to visit some of our colleagues and some of our ministry coaches who are part of our network around the world. As you may recall, about 10 years ago, we began this ministry coaching network, and it's a network of leaders who we've mentored and then who continue to serve other leaders using our materials and their experience, their region and their country. A new member of this network this year is Willie Leuven. He lives in Germany, and earlier this year, Carl and I were able to visit him there near Berlin, and he serves as the Eastern European Director for a German mission. And over the last several years, he's actually been training using our mentoring and our other materials. He's been training other leaders across Ukraine, as well as in Uzbekistan and other parts in Eastern Europe. You know, earlier in the spring and then later in the fall, both times I went to Dominican Republic and was able to visit there and see the great work that Raydell and Carlos and their team are doing there. In Dominican Republic alone, they have over 1,000 leaders in a program, in one of their training programs. We're now ready to expand that training to other parts of Latin America as well as the Caribbean. And Carlos was actually in Guatemala in November and able to share with them about the CLI, our Christian Leadership Institute program, which is really a competency-based mentorship to help leaders grow in a very intentional way. We're looking forward to following up with other countries that are interested with this training in the years ahead. Unfortunately, the war in Ukraine continues and with no end in sight, really. Earlier this fall in September, I was able to visit our colleagues and our good friends there in the eastern part of the country, which is about 50 kilometers from the front lines. Though it's a rather arduous journey now, instead of just one day to fly there, it's a lot of train rides and overnighters, and it took about 3 days to get there, but it was definitely worth seeing Max and Anya, their family, and sharing with their team again and encouraging them. I was also able to visit other pastors and those that we've trained and have been coaching over the years. And truth be told, though, I think I gained much more than I ever received or were able to give to them. You know, really to see their resilience and faith under fire is inspiring, but it's also quite humbling at the same time. Nancy and I also were able this last year to visit our Russian colleagues in Istanbul, Turkey. We obviously can't get to Russia anymore. I haven't been able to get a visa for years, but we were able to all meet up in Istanbul and see them in person after several years, encourage them, and just share some of the new material we have with them, hear their stories and how they're doing, pray with them, encourage them. And so that was really a great week to be with them. And in St. Petersburg, Marina and Valery who we first met in the Caucasus in 2007. Valerie and Marina, they are planting a church in St. Petersburg, and they're also involved in establishing our CLI, or Christian Leadership Institute, there. And they have several candidates and mentors that they're training. So we're so encouraged to see them continue to train up young leaders, something they've done their whole adult life. And it's so amazing to see all the people they've invested in. In the CLI program, really, as I mentioned, brings together all the materials that we've been working on over the last 25 years and puts it in one place in a way that a minister can go through that, either as professional development, ongoing training, or as a young leader learning what it means to be a ministry and how they can grow and develop. The ripple effect of all these leaders in our coaching network that they're touching is really quite staggering. And we're so blessed, Nancy and I, just to have a little small part to play in that. We're just really, it's been really a privilege to work with such quality leaders over the years. Thank you again for standing with us in an increasingly complex context of our world these days. Your standing together with us with your prayers and your partnership are making a real difference as we invest in these key leaders, and they in turn are investing in thousands of other leaders around the world. Undoubtedly, we all face many unknowns in 2024, and Nancy and I pray that you're aware that Jesus is in your boat. Regardless of the headwinds you may face or even the intensity of the waves around you. You know, the last few years, we've also needed to hear those words, peace, be still. But I'm confident in the future, knowing that Jesus, not the little baby, but Jesus, the ruler of the nations, the one who's going to bring justice to this world one day, that He is in my boat, that He is in your boat. So be assured, He is in control, and the work that He has begun in you and in your family, He will continue that until to completion.
Phil and I would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas this year.
Yeah, for sure. And may you gain strength and courage for the journey ahead in 2024. And may His faith rise up within you, a faith that comes from knowing that He, the Master, is in your boat.